Welcome everyone to issue 26 of the IDW Sonic the Hedgehog series. Today marks the beginning of the final arc to the Metal Virus Saga, All or Nothing. It's time to recap what happened last time, and as always, there will be spoilers. Though I should add that spoiler levels will be at code red due to me pointing out something in this very intro section. You've been warned. Dr. Starline's plan to use the Deadly Six to control the Zombots didn't turn out the way he'd hoped. As a result, the Deadly Six gained control of the Face Ship, the Zombots, and more importantly, the Chaos Emeralds, which gave them a massive power boost. While they went off to take over the world, Eggman, Starline, and Metal Sonic retreated to Angel Island, where it just so happens the heroes retreated to as well. With the help of Rouge, who snuck aboard the Face Ship, and Orbot and Cubot, who pretended to join the Zeti, everyone learned about the Zeti's movements, and hopefully they could come up with a way to keep the situation from escalating further. Eventually, they came up with using Super Sonic in conjunction with the Warp Topaz to get rid of the Metal Virus once and for all. Before being tossed out of the story, Starline said this idea could go wrong, as an alter reality enough to destroy the planet. Okay, might as well address this now. That warning Starline mentioned is just a shout out. Ian Flynn said on Twitter that there will be no reboot, so unless we have legal shenanigans similar to that of Archie, I think we're fine. I'd like to thank everyone who pointed me in this direction, and I should add, Ian's tweet came out the same day I released my issue 25 review, which means someone probably watched it, got worried, and asked Ian about it. If that's the case, I feel kinda bad. To be fair, I was a little worried myself, but now we can breathe a sigh of relief. Plus, based on solicitations for issue 30 and this cover here, it appears we're not going to have a reset button besides the virus going away. This is why I mentioned Code Red earlier. Back to the recap. In order to execute the Supersonic Warp Topaz plan, they'll need to steal the Chaos Emeralds from the Zeti. To make sure they have sufficient numbers to get all of them at once, they enlisted the aid of the Babylon Rogues. Hopefully it'll be enough to stop the Zeti and end the Metal Virus threat once and for all. We begin with Tails and Eggman finishing construction of the multi-portal generator. Just in time too, as Sonic's taking a break from running to give a briefing on each individual Zeti and who will take on each of them. Tails and Amy will take on Zombomb, SPO will tackle Zaz solo, I'll explain why in a moment, Silver and Whisper will handle Zor, Gemerald will take a chance with Xena, hoping to catch her off guard due to her vainness, the Babylon Rogues will deal with Master Zik, and finally, Rouge herself will try and nab the two emeralds on the Face Ship, somehow. Hold on, some of you are asking, what about Knuckles? Well, he was originally going to join SPO in dealing with Zaz, but he refuses. While you might be tempted to call him a moron, he's actually being smart. Eggman and Metal Sonic are staying on Angel Island, where the Master Emerald is. I don't need to explain any further. Also, to jump ahead a bit, if things don't go well for the heroes, Knuckles will make sure to keep an eye on the refugees. Anyway, as Sonic is running on the treadmill, he takes the time to call out Metal Sonic for rejoining Eggman. Oh Sonic, you naive blue hedgehog. As Eggman explains, Metal software demands battle and conquest. So even if Starline hadn't shown up to restore Dr. Eggman, Metal Sonic would find some way to become a threat again, despite having a broken body at the time. The Mr. Tinker thing is brought up again, and I'll save my comments on that for later. The point is, Eggman's reminding Sonic that they will always be enemies. To really drive this home, Eggman starts getting under the Hedgehog's skin, so to speak, by bringing up the idea that all the times he tried burning off the virus by running, he's been spreading the infection on the grass. Not to mention the constant mutations. You know, he has a point, Sonic. There were times when you almost became a complete Zombot, and you did touch uninfected grass while running at full speed. Eggman's planting a germ of doubt in Sonic's head just to mess with him. On the Face Ship, Zavok has Orbot searching for Eggman. While looking through various locations, including other planets, Angel Island pops up on the screen. Uh-oh. Before Orbot can give a long-winded explanation, Cubot informs Zavok of an alert from the Metal Virus production area, and he goes to check it out. Turns out Rouge rigged up the distraction to buy them some time. She has the two send the Deadly Six coordinates to Amy's group so they can start their attack right away. And you, Rouge, you better come up with something soon because Zavok will not be distracted for long. So here we go. The designated groups head off to fight their respective zeti. Some arrive ready to attack. Others have the situation not go exactly their way. For instance, before Gemerald enters his portal, Green jumps in first. She wanted to help earlier, but Gemerald wanted her to be safe. Because of this, the element of surprise is gone, and Xena takes control of Gemerald. Also having a difficult time is Espio, who's spotted by Zaz despite being invisible, and the Babylon Rogues when Master Zeke take over their airboards. While Jet recovers his after knocking Master Zeke around, Master Zeke retorts that he has Wave and Storm surrounded by Zombots. And this is where part 1 ends. The final battle has officially begun. The setup to the final battle works with Sonic briefing the heroes on the Deadly Six, which makes sense because up until now, he was the only one that fought against these guys. Yeah, Tails was there, and was even captured by them for a time. But besides this one bit here, he never really fought them. Still, between him, Sonic, and Eggman, they were able to get a decent picture of each zeti. It also gives Sonic something to do since, without the emeralds, he's in no shape to fight. All he can do right now is make sure he doesn't transform despite the virus mutating on him. And to have a nice little chat with Eggman and Metal Sonic on the nature of their roles in life. Okay, let's go deeper into this scene. Keep in mind, some of what I'm about to say, I've mentioned elsewhere, so bear with me. Sonic had hoped his robotic doppelganger would turn good like Gemerald and Omega. That's not the case thanks to Eggman's programming. Now if Tails were to reprogram him when they had the chance after the Battle of Angel Island like he did with Gemerald, maybe things would turn out better. So unless there's a new official Sonic game in which Metal Sonic turns good permanently, it'll never happen, at least in this continuity. Shifting over to someone who did change for a while, Eggman became the kind Mr. Tinker because of what happened to him at the end of Sonic Forces. The Phantom Ruby altered, or reprogrammed, his mind somehow to make the Doctor lose the traits that made him the evil Eggman. All that remained were his building skills. Sonic took the opportunity to let his former enemy live in peace despite objections from certain parties, because I think he's getting tired of the same old routine. Sure, there will always be the Doctor's leftovers and other villains, but with the main villain neutralized, Sonic believes the world would be much safer. Well, Dr. Starline, one of the other villains, started transforming Mr. Tinker back into Eggman, and Metal Sonic's appearance, again thanks to Sonic letting him go, finished the job. The point I'm trying to make here is, no matter how much Sonic wants his enemies to change, they have to be willing to change. Barring extraordinary circumstances, Eggman and Metal Sonic will always be against Sonic. It is the will of the Sega overlords. For trying to invoke this change against their will, Sonic is paying the price. There's also that bit of guilt Eggman placed in Sonic's head. It is brilliant in a sick kind of way. If the Supersonic Warp Topaz plan goes south, it's one last screw you to Sonic. If the plan works, that thought will still be in Sonic's head, gnawing at him bit by bit. Oh, and if I don't bring this up, someone else will. Eggman mentioned building a treadmill in this issue. Unless the Warp Topaz can alter space-time, we have a major continuity error since Sonic was running on one last time. Unless it broke and they needed to build a new one. Moving on to Cream for a bit, her rash decision to join the fight against the Zeti. I should be angry at her, but I'm not. I'm just a little disappointed in her choice. At the same time, I understand why she did it. She's been through an emotional roller coaster these past several issues. She saw her family get assimilated before her eyes. Now, with this plan to possibly get them back, it reignited the fire inside her. In a lot of ways, this reminds me of Charmy going after the infected lady in issue 17. and it's a mere coincidence that they're both 6 years old. I hope things wind up better for her despite Gemerald getting mind controlled. Maybe she'll serve as a wild card in the Xena battle. You know, after seeing this panel, I want to go off on a brief tangent. I don't bring this up often, but one of the things I've enjoyed about the Sonic comics in general is how the different game characters interact with each other in new ways. For instance, the Babylon Rogues taking on a member of the Deadly Six. I know I should be used to this sort of thing since I've been reviewing Sonic comics for years, but it is odd to see characters from a racing series take on a member of a villain group from a mainline Sonic game. It's something you really need to take a step back every once in a while and say, yeah, that really happened. Speaking of interactions, we have this bit of Silver teaming up with Whisper, and he's so excited to be finally teaming up with her as a duo. Goes to show that there's still room for humor in these dark times. Man, Silver works better as a lovable dork. If you've read the issue, there's been a bit of an art shift here and there. That's because from what I've read, Evan Stanley did pages 1 through 9 and 12 and 13, while Priscilla Tramontano did 10, 11, and 14 through 20. Colorist Matt Herms did Evan's pages, and Heather Breckel did Priscilla's. Just thought I'd throw it out there. Anyway, we have 3 more issues of this arc, and of course the heroes are struggling. We cannot have them get easy victories. It would diminish the threat the Deadly Six now pose thanks to them targeting sapient beings with the Zombots and being enhanced with Chaos Emeralds. The fight though will continue in issue 27. See you then. I see Tails is keeping that tradition of saying a certain greeting alive and well.